Hi.
Hi, welcome to Broadscast.
Hi, we're here in studio.
I'm Jackie MacDougall.
I'm Kim Goldman.
That's it.
That's it.
Have a great day.
Yeah, bye.
All right. So, there's so much to talk about today.
I know, I'm super excited.
I'm super excited. But before we get to anything else, we have to thank our sponsor, Stark Social. They are a social marketing firm with an emphasis on small business, startups, and nonprofit organizations with budgets of all shapes and sizes. Thanks to our sponsors at Stark Social.
That sounds like a tongue
We
twister.
heart you. We love them. They are so good. And they
awesome.
they do our website. So we have a personal a personal connection to this today's sponsor. So in other business, before we get to everything, you've got to subscribe on YouTube. You know why? Because you may hear us in this podcast. Kim's making faces at me already. So you may hear us, but you can actually see us on YouTube and subscribe to our videos, and you can see our guests. And last week you weren't here, and we had a guest host.
You can see my slobby shirt
today.
It's actually meant to be a little slobby, but I'm realizing that I look extra slobby.
Yeah, slobby. Is that a word?
Sloth.
So also we are now currently on Spreaker. Did you know this?
I did know this.
Yes, I got my Spreaker on this week and uploaded our
I have no idea.
podcast.
We're trying to break the internet. We say this every week.
Yes.
I don't know what Spreaker is,
I don't
but
want to
we're
break
going to
the
go
internet
check it
because
out.
then no one could hear us. So Twitter, we are Broadscast Show, and as well as Instagram, we are Broadscast. We need to make that just consistent all across. But seriously, all you have to do is search for Broadscast, and then when it says, "Do you mean broadcast?" You're like, "No, I don't. I mean Broadscast." So I had 2 cups of coffee.
I was just going to say you're in a mood this morning. I like it. Yeah. Good stuff.
So later on in the show, we are going to talk to Dr. Carol Lieberman.
Do you remember that she was
on our very
first show before we were here at KHTS? She was on our very first show.
We were on a different network, and we did a show
in snooping because I just been dumped. Actually, I just dumped a guy because he was cheating on me, and we talked about snooping.
He dumped you back because you had snooped on him,
and then he told me that he couldn't be with me because he couldn't trust me.
Right?
Because I snooped.
Do you know that was
That's funny. Anyway.
Do you know that was back in 2011?
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah. So I want to apologize ahead of time. I have a little bit of a break in my voice. I was gone, as you reminded us, that in Tennessee, having my football weekend, which you said I listened to the beginning of the show, and you said I was off playing football. But I was in Tennessee for my annual football trip with my girlfriend, and I came back with a hoarse voice.
Let's just clarify, though, your girlfriend is a girl who's a friend.
Yes, my best friend Denise.
Yeah, although it would make things happen. Maybe the guys would then be like calling up, like, "Hey, Kim." Yeah, isn't that interesting? Why don't you tell them you're not interested? Anywho, Kim's still single, just FYI, in case we didn't get it out there this week. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were there, and how was it?
It was great.
You were on the field with, like, the Tennessee Titans.
I was on the field. I have very nice people in my life that do good things for me. I forget that when you ask, people often say yes. Mm-hmm. So I did. We were able to go down by the field and take pictures with all these players who, between me and you, and whoopsie doodles, I had no idea who they were, so I was asking the little boy that was sitting next to me.
And yet you had a Titans shirt on. It's like, what do you buy a different shirt for every...
So here's what we do. So Denise and I are football fans, and so every year we pick a different city, and we immerse ourselves into the city. So the first year we did it was New Orleans, we became Saints fans. Right. And then the second year was Houston, we became Texans fans. This year we did Nashville and became Titans fans. And next year I'm going for Green Bay. I want to be a Packer
When are you
fan.
coming to New England?
We're going to. We have lots of cities we're trying
but
to...
I wouldn't be invited anyway.
So we try to do cities that we haven't been to yet. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to hit those cities first, and then we're going to try to double up because there's a lot of places that we need to visit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this year I was a Titans fan.
Wow. Well, good luck to your Titans. I have no idea.
No, they lost.
Sad.
Yeah.
So, okay, back to where we were, though. Dr. Carol Lieberman will be on the next segment talking about Jennifer Lawrence and what's going on there, and women's, equality, gender equality in payment, and why we are constantly like, no, that's okay.
Shortchanging ourselves, getting in our own way.
I have to say, honestly, in my life, that is the one area that I don't do. Like, I'm worth what, and often people will pay it. Ask me about other things and I'm totally insecure, but when it comes to money and profession, I'm good, I think. So let's get to some other topics.
All right.
Look at her. She's all like, whatever. And we also have some questions for Dr. Lieberman from
some of
our listeners. And so if you have a question, message us on Facebook or Twitter, or I think maybe you could call 661-298-5487, but it's probably more likely that you can get through the social media channels. Okay, so
so I have you
go ahead.
Target first. No,
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, Playboy called.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they do not want me to do any nudity.
That's right. But here's the deal. Didn't Playboy actually ask you at one point? We discussed this.
We discussed it. I think, there was some
I asked you if you would ever do Playboy. And now Playboy's just announced
that they're doing no nudity.
Or at least not full nudity.
No, I thought it was no nudity.
At all?
Yeah, no nudity.
No breasts?
They're now no boobies. Am I allowed to say that? No nudity. They're trying now to.
We've had our hand slapped so many times by the radio.
They want to be more mainstream.
Can I say and?
They want to be more mainstream. They think it will increase their advertising dollars if they removed the nudity element. And plus, they were saying that with so much nudity on the internet and porn the way that it is,
it's so readily
people don't buy it
available.
anymore, and that they want to be able to compete with Esquire and GQ and those kinds of magazines.
So it's an adult themed magazine.
It's still for men. I mean, I know there's great articles, but they really.
I always thought that was just a punchline. Go for the articles.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, that's happening in 2016.
So
I think Playboy.com, I think they've been doing, there's no nudity on Playboy.com. So now, and they were seeing that the increase in hits every month and the revenue dollars that were being generated by their internet was really kind of the launching pad.
But
for
they still have
decided.
nudity on Playboy TV. We'll have to get Wendy Miller, who's over there in programming at Playboy TV, to come on.
Playboy TV is different though than.
Yeah. But I'm just curious if it's changing direction at all,
Based on what Wendy shares on Facebook, I don't think so. I think
Not
it's awesome.
anytime soon. But speaking of adult themed, so this woman is pushing her twins in Target the other day up in Northern California, and all of a sudden over the loudspeaker, she hears an adult movie, a porn, playing, like just the audio.
Did you listen to the video?
I just for a few minutes.
It was pretty funny.
Like just at first because you could hear like the.
So
you could very quickly tell that it was an adult.
And I guess this is where I separate myself from the hovering parent. I was busting up, and maybe it's because my son is a little bit older, but listening to it, I thought, oh my gosh, I think I'd be peeing my pants if I were in the aisle listening to this, like boom chaka, like walking down. I think I would have gotten my groove on a
but it
little.
went for a while. Like
They said 15 minutes.
Oh no!
15 minutes, and they said.
Wait, but how did it go for 15 minutes without somebody at Target like running into that booth and tackling? Like,
so the woman was saying that she was pushing, and the kids were crying and so upset. I'm like, really? So, mommy, why are those men hurting that woman? I'm like, Anyway, what the woman reported was that there were Target employees that were standing around on the side laughing and using their cell phones to record it.
Oh.
And then finally it got to the GM. I don't know how long. She said 15 minutes, but
well, how long was the video that you were hearing it?
They just did a clip. I mean, it was just a snippet for the news. I'm just saying.
Oh, you didn't hear her video, like the whole thing?
No. But she just said it was. So my question to you is, why didn't she run and tell the manager? She was recording and she was dealing with her kids, but why didn't she make her way to go tell somebody?
Yeah,
why was she listening to?
So upset. Why'd she stand there?
Yeah,
because everybody wants to sue later for
traumatization.
Yes.
So anyway, turns out that it happened in another Target store down in another Northern California store. I'm not exactly sure how close it was in proximity to this particular store. So now they're looking into it. These women want nothing more than just another apology.
They should change the name of the store from Target to G-Spot. I don't know. Nothing?
Crickets. Gotta laugh out of Peter.
Yeah. Peter,
I think
what do we call you? You're our engineer extraordinaire, producer, spiritual advisor.
Yeah.
Peter, are you talking to the mic if you're talking to us? We love Peter.
What would you do if you were in the store? We have a girlfriend, right? Am I allowed to ask that?
You have a girlfriend.
No, you have a girlfriend.
Yes.
So if you were walking,
But we both have girlfriends.
okay.
I thought that's what we were talking about.
No, we're talking about Target and pornography.
You just said that.
But Kim doesn't have a girlfriend. She has a girl who's a friend.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're in Target and you're with your girlfriend and you
Yes.
started to hear this over the intercom, what would you do?
I would leave. I would be laughing and I'd be leaving, but it'd be. I can see how it was bad. I used to work at Target also.
Oh, yeah.
And I
love
can
Target.
tell you that it's not surprising that all those people you said weren't doing anything.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
recording
Those
each
were your-
other.
those are your coworkers?
The thing is it's run by
Props
kids.
to my peeps.
It's
Yeah.
run by kids. There's some places, Magic Mountain,
Right.
there's places where there's a lot of kids and they all have their cell phones, and that's the first thing that happens. It all gets on the internet, and there's like 15 different angles of the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
See, I think you, Jackie, would go you would berate somebody if that was you in the store. If you were with your kids, not if you were by yourself.
If I were by myself, I'd just start dancing or something.
Yeah, but if you were with your
if I were
kids.
with my kids, I would wheel them up to I don't know,
bad. That's scary. I
a
would
two-way
feel
mirror.
so
You know those
awkward.
offices that they have where they can see out and you can't see, and I'd be the crazy lady. No, but I'd be like, open that office. Yeah, I would totally. Who just sits there? So
It's such a disturbing kind of weird because the kids are just crying so perfectly timed. Like
Yeah.
they both look at and they just instantly
You don't see
start
the
bursting into tears.
Right?
You can't really hear everything that's going on.
Right.
You just know it's bad. It's just a generally bad.
You don't see the mom pinching them behind the arms to get them to
It's
cry.
just she's trying to leave, and I'd probably do the same thing about my kids there. I would just want to leave.
Yeah.
They'd be a little silly, I guess.
Yeah, I might
Yeah, I
flip
don't
on
know.
my phone as I walk through the store just because.
I guess I'm just not that
But
sensitive.
that's a thing
I don't
that
know.
happens.
No,
Kids-
but
kids do
yeah, but
that.
you would just sit there. Though
I wouldn't sit there. They continued to shop, though. These women didn't leave the store. They continued to shop.
Right. But what would you do if you were in that?
If I was
and you were
that
with Sam?
upset and my kids were that upset, I would leave. They continued to shop.
Right.
So I kind of,
Yeah.
I have
I
something
don't think-
inappropriate to say, but it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? I just sort of, it diffuses the argument of how upset you were if you continue to shop while your kids are freaking out.
Right.
While there's porn playing. Like, come on. There's a lot of things that play here that don't make any sense to me.
Kids don't even understand.
But her impression, though, her kids were freaking
Weren't
out.
they, like,
they're
5 years old or
Yes, they
something?
had their hands over their ears, like crying. Then I would leave if that was the reaction that my kids had. But she continued to shop. Like, come on.
I know.
I don't know.
And let's be honest, the sales are not that good at Target that you need to just stay.
Well,
So anyway.
maybe put her in a better mood. Maybe there was an increase in sales in the lingerie department.
Right? Anyway,
I don't know. So-
yeah, that's enough of that, right?
Yeah.
What else you got? Lamar?
Oh, you want to go, Lamar?
Let's go, Lamar. I think we're going to talk about it a little bit with Dr. Lieberman in a bit. But I wrote on my Facebook this morning. It's amazing. There's a specific
Lamar Odom, for people that don't remember.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Lamar Odom, basketball player, married
Yes.
to a member of the family that shall not be named.
Yes. He was a very good basketball player. That's what he's known for. That was what I posted this morning. There was an ESPN clip about how people are only remembering him for his relationship with that family that we don't speak of.
Yeah, he was he was a success in his own and is
Before them, yeah.
So on the Lakers and so I have no ties to him. I have no alliance or allegiance or any. But I saw a post this morning by a very popular morning show, national morning show that I won't name because sometimes you do media and I don't want to create a bad, but it was like how much the article was all about how much he spent at the brothel where he was found unconscious.
You said you were good with money.
What's that?
You mentioned that you were really good with money.
Yeah.
I'm good with money?
Yeah,
Oh.
so it makes sense that you're reading about the financial part. Someone's got to be, smart.
No, but it's not. The point is,
if it's the same clip that I saw,
I didn't click on it because I refused.
Oh, I did because I'm pretty sure I know who you're referring to. Nancy Grace, and is that
No,
the
no.
Nancy Grace clip was terrible. And Nancy
I would
Grace has
never
been-
protect Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace has been very good to me and my family. However, she was ridiculous in this interview that she did with the owner of the Bluff
yes,
Ranch,
yes.
and she was very condemning and it was in her normal tone, but she focused a lot about the money and all the hookers that he was with, and I don't know. I mean, to me, it's a part of the story. But the part that the part
He wasn't doing anything illegal. The drugs are illegal, but he wasn't doing it. That's allowed there.
Right.
And he
Right.
was having a good time. Sure, he should not be doing drugs, but the guy is a tortured soul.
Right.
Who, forget the fact that he's affiliated with that family like he was before. And I can't imagine being around them makes you any better. But, he's a human being. So to sit there while the guy is like probably on life support and clinging,
Right.
They have no idea. I mean, I can't even imagine that this will have a positive outcome
Right.
for him. And that's what we're going to talk about is how much money he's spending on, on his weekend. Like, it's just, that's what's happening to the media. And I'm not talking about Nancy Grace, who like lives off of that. I'm talking about the Today Show. The Today Show, who I think sometimes tries to do stories that will add to your life. Like, this just seemed a little bit TMZ for me.
Yeah.
You know, that they would go there even.
Well, I think to omit it, though, doesn't tell the whole story. I think if I was going to play devil's advocate, I think that it shows you his state of mind. It shows you where he was at, what he was committing to, like the scene for that weekekend. And maybe that
don't
plays
you think brothel, drugs, you've already set the scene.
Right.
I don't know if it was $5,000 or $500,000.
Yeah.
Like, I know he was at a brothel doing drugs. Like, okay, he's in a bad place, perhaps.
Right. So my kid, because we do this thing every morning now that he needs to watch the news in the morning. And so then we do, on his way to school, he has to tell me what he learned. And so I said, well, what did you learn this morning? This was 2 days ago. And he said, Lamar Odom was doing drugs. And I said, well, did you understand where that was? And he said, I don't know, a brothel? And I said, you know what a brothel is? And he said, no. And I said, well, that's where
brothel
sprouts. I said, that's where men, you know, I guess, I don't think women can go there. Men go there to pay to have sex with women. And he says, well, isn't it ironic that he was passed out the whole time? Which is funny from my 12-year-old. But my feeling about the whole thing about Lamar is that why people have been so supportive and wanting to send their prayers to him in his time of need and tragedy. But when other people who are addicted to drugs or have mental health illness, people shun that, they shame them. But the whole country is coming to his, which is great. But I just feel like we don't treat others that are dealing with those same kinds of heartaches and addictions and mental health issues.
Do you
with the
feel
same
like
support.
he's getting this treatment that he's, you know, beyond something, or do you think that, or above other people, or is it a new trend? Are we moving in a direction of compassion? And
I don't think we're moving in a direction of compassion.
No.
I love that people are coming to his, you know, sending prayers and wishing for his well-being. I think that's incredible. I think we should always do that. We don't spend this much time talking about these issues when it's an everyday person that is dealing with an addiction. We dismiss it and we shame it. And I maybe this is going to open somebody's eyes. I highly doubt it.
But this also goes back to what you do for a living.
Yeah.
And you see kids, teenagers every day who are either in situations where, or headed for situations like this, or at the very beginning where you can actually educate and support in that they don't end up there.
Right.
You know, they may not have millions of dollars to spend, you know,
right
at a brothel, you know, but
just $1.
Yeah. But I think that it's important, you know, drug abuse, it doesn't usually come from, I mean, on the flip side, it comes from entitlement and, you know, and celebrities sometimes turn to it because everybody says yes and they feel like they're, you know, indestructible or.
Right. I mean, and you made the point on your post today too, that, you know, he's just a human who's flawed like all of us.
Right.
You know, but because he's in the public eye, everything that he does gets, you know, tracked and judged and scrutinized. I mean, just the fact that, you know, when you listen to the gentleman that owns the brothel, you know, they said that they were fawning over him and they were giving him food I mean, they treated him like a king because of who he is.
Right.
You know,
right.
and
well, plus they're paid too.
$75,000.
Wow.
Yeah, the funniest thing that Nancy Grace said in that interview with the guy was that she said, wait, you have an extended stay at the brothel?
I like that you call it a brothel.
Isn't that what it is?
I don't know. It's an accent thing. I'm like, it's a brothel, like with my Boston, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But Carol Lieberman, when she joins us in the next segment, she does have some feelings and thoughts about this. So
yeah, and I definitely want to get those. I want to ask her about. And we didn't even talk about this before, but I want to ask her about Michelle Duggar, and Dugar or whatever the heck her name is, and how she says that we should be joyfully available to be with our husbands at all times. Which it's funny because I just put that on Facebook just to see how people would respond, and it was interesting. But my thoughts are actually a little bit different than maybe what you would think, perhaps. And also, I want to ask her about an article that she contributed to recently about smoking in cars with kids. Is that something that the federal government should get involved with or stay out of our business? So
I heard that's illegal in the UK now.
Yes, it is. So we're going to go to break. You're listening to Broadscast on KHTS, and we'll be right back.